Hey, who left this file here on the desktop? It says click for gamer girl loots. Okay, let's see. Gamer girl loots. If you have problems. Anyways, let's see. I guess they have customer services. Subscribe to Russian Gaming. Oh, okay. Where did it go? Like this video. Alright. Share this video. Comment below. Subscribe. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so this is just not going to go away. Alright, let's get back into the file. If you have problems, repent for your sins. Get stepped on. Alright, looks like we get stepped on, boys. Let's rush in here. Resolve issues. Okay, this better resolve issues. It's supposed to open something. Oh man, oh, look at this. What do you know?
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim.
Alright. So I wanted to talk about this. Honestly, I wanted to be aggressive and be like, yo, this is why game developers are all just mentally ill. But this game is called Crimson Desert, okay? And from just off of their first minute or whatever of gameplay that they show, you can tell that this is going to at least be an entertaining game to play. And that people will at least buy it to fucking try the game. This is going to be a successful game no matter what happens, no matter what predatory microtransactions or whatever they decide to do. And in the reality is this is the only scenario where you can actually pull off toxic game monetization and people will not even give a shit at all. This will be the exception. This will be the game that if they ever do that, if they devolve, like you know how Skyrim has all of its expansions and then all the game is you attack with left hand, you attack with right hand, and then you walk around and you do stealth. Like the game is dog shit. This is the only game where if you see 10, 20 years from now, there's 100 expansions. They're trying to do it how GTA 5 has been made, where GTA 5 has been out for the past 10 years or whatever, and they're still going strong, trying to make as much money off of it. This is the type of game that could do this and no one would care. There would probably not be a single negative video about it. And I'm just going to show you some of this gameplay really quick. Okay, so I'm not going to continue with that. But everything that you just saw is already in other games to some degree. Except here they actually put it in a way where you can enjoy it. They even have like dragon flying, where the dragon can move around in the air. The dragon can decide to roll, barrel roll. There's all this shit that you can do in this game. This game allows you to do literally the only things that people have ever wanted designed in these fucking games. I promise you, no one will give a shit if there's 100 microtransactions where you have to buy all the barrel rolls that the dragon can do. No one will give a shit. Because this game is simply designed in a way where if they wanted to make you pay $100, $200 for this game, people would do it in bulk. People would sit down and say, well, cool, I could save up $200 for this game. I could save up $200 to buy this game. Just look at how much content was in the past few seconds. Like, hold on. The past few seconds, they're in a war. How many games just tell you war in cutscenes? They just tell you there was a war in the story, and then you go and you kill like 10 enemies, and then the war is over. Games don't make real wars. Like, look at this battlefield in the war. Bro picked someone up in Goku style, tossed this person. Like, this is a Tekken move right here. Except you can do it on any one of these enemies, and you're in a big field. Look at this. You're just going through, but bashing down all of these players. All these, not players, all these NPCs. Why didn't, Assassin's Creed Valhalla have some shit like this? Valhalla was so dog shit. And then look, they even brought elements from, what was the name of that game? Fuck, Shadow of War? Shadow of Mordor? They even brought elements from that game over. Where you get all these sword executions and little clashes and shit. Right? Shadow of War has a lot of that shit. Hold on, you're fighting robots, and I didn't even realize something flew over, but what the fuck is that thing? Is that a dragon? Yes, that's a big fucking dragon thing. You're having fights out in the fields. This looks like a mini boss or a boss. Hold on. This is like the Nightwalkers or some shit, but with an upgrade. Bro, when game developers say things about the development of their game not going well and all this stuff, the stuff that they develop is bad most of the time. Most of the time, game developers are not developing something that's so fun to do, it's so cool. No, they'll have like one good system, and then the next system will be like, okay, so did a kid make this system? Because I feel like an adult would have known not to limit you to 3 abilities in a game that they want you to play for 500 hours. There's too many games where you're limited to 3 fucking abilities, and then there's like a skill tree with 15 abilities. There's too many games where your buttons are so fucked up, the inputs you need to do, and then you can't change the fucking controls. Or you can change the controls, but they have some stuff that's defaulted, so it makes you unable to really change the controls. Like there's so much shit in game design where it's like, bro, I really feel like game developers are just all mentally ill because they're not designing anything like this game that I'm showing you right now. You cannot point to me a single fucking game that has all of these features implemented in a similar way where you can enjoy what the fuck you're doing. And don't say Dragon's Dogma. The only thing that Dragon's Dogma in this game have in common is that in this game you can climb up the monsters. And it's implemented so much better in this game that you could say that this game made it up. Because all you do when you climb monsters in Dragon's Dogma is you climb up them. You're losing stamina the whole time, so you can't stay up there until you upgrade your character, which takes a long ass time. So it's not even a real feature, it's something to keep you playing the game. Right? And then all you can do is a basic attack over and over. That's it. While you're climbing, like they made literally a demo version of their system, and they took it straight from the Colossus game, whatever that old game was with the Colossus, and they didn't even implement it as good as the Colossus game did. So it's just like Dragon's Dogma is not comparable to this fucking game just because they have climbing up monsters and shit. Hold on, why the fuck is there so much falling in this game? But guess what? It's in this game. Falling like this, how it's the game mechanic, this is the type of shit that should be in Dragon Ball Z. And it has never existed till this fucking day. Why the fuck is there a soldier guy with a sword doing all of this falling? I can't even tell if it's combat or not. But all of this falling that he's doing, why? This is not Dragon Ball Z. Like, you can't even get that type of combat out of a Dragon Ball Z game, even though Dragon Ball Z is supposed to do that type of shit. Look at how massive this shit is. And it's not even all that much. Unless you can go over these mountains. If you can go over these mountains, then this is colossal. But if you're only limited to this area, it's not that much. It's a pretty small map. But if you can go over these mountains, and if there's stuff out here, like, this is huge. This is colossal. And it looks like you can.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus,
I'll
UFC
skip the ad.
295, a stacked card headlined by two title fights.
What annoys me most is this looks exactly like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla has such shit combat and such shit story and all this fucking shit where you couldn't really enjoy the game. You kind of had to force yourself to enjoy the game. And the combat was kind of fun, but only because it was combat, not because it was good combat. What always annoys me is why can't people do this in lower graphics? Why can't people design this shit in lower graphics and give you like a anime type of look or a Cartoon Network type of look, or you know what I mean, like a very specific low graphics, just so you can have more shit actually running, right? So that the game can just run perfectly. Like, I would love to go and design some shit where it's low graphics, but it has this much depth in all of the game. And the game is designed for you to have like city building in any location. So you could just build something here. You could just build some shit here. You could just build some shit here. You know what I mean? And then it can also be destroyed. Like that would be a pretty cool tower defense style type of fucking resource gathering game. But that was just a random idea that I was talking about. Okay, so it looks like it's showing off the cutscenes now. I never care about cutscenes ever because too many games do cutscenes and shit so shittily. It's like, just tell me the story, I don't give a fuck. This was cool as shit. Okay, so now we're back to gameplay. Like, look at this fucking gameplay. Why couldn't Valhalla have some shit like that? Why didn't any of the Assassin's Creed games create combat like this? It makes no fucking sense. They went to MMO just to be boring. It's fucking stupid. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, so I'm just going to get this off my chest. Like, this is what is so annoying about the game developers that we have, right? They'll go and they'll complain about the process of making the game. They'll blame the people telling them to make the game. They'll blame themselves. They'll blame each other. But at the end of the day, y'all are not making any games that look like what I'm showing you right now. You're not making games even similar to this shit. And you're all saying like, oh, we're going to be the best MMO, we're going to be the best this, blah, 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 blah. Like, why does it take 30, 40 years to get actual combat in a fucking game then? If y'all have been the best all this time. Like, it makes no sense. Like, World of Warcraft, for example. There's many elements in this game that I'm looking at right now that could have been World of Warcraft related shit. World of Warcraft should have been the one making this type of combat where you could grab people and slam them on the ground. When you look at World of Warcraft, right, they have all those stuns in the game where they stun the enemy and shit. So reality is that they could have grapples and they could have bombs and all these other things, but the developers are just shit at their job. And then at the end of the day, y'all are never developing games like this. So most of your excuses are like, okay, this clearly takes much longer to build than what they're building. They don't even have the combat elements. The combat elements that are in this game, they're elements that don't require large amounts of time to develop and understand. There's not a single combat element in a game that takes longer to develop than these mountains right here. Right? So it's like it's just so stupid. Because game developers are never designing this product right here. They're never designing anything to the level of this game right here. So all of their excuses are just that. They're just excuses. Because a lot of their shit ends up being shit anyways. Why are archers never designed that well? I've always wondered why archers and shit are never fucking like Taekwondo specialists. You know how long the Taekwondo fighting style has existed? They could literally have archers be like the Taekwondo karate's type classes in the game. Because you learn about Taekwondo and it's all about it's the nerds, the game people, they won't even understand what I'm talking about. Because they love the shitty games that we've been getting for the past, 20, 30 years. We literally haven't had a single Dragon Ball Z game come out. That 2D fighting game Dragon Ball Z was like the best fighting game of Dragon Ball Z, but it had no fucking balance whatsoever. Hold up, what the fuck was that? He just did something that is like a superhero type fucking thing. Like, holy shit, man. You know that one guy with the ice powers that's in multiple different superhero genres? They even managed to put that guy's powers into this fucking game. Holy shit. Look at that. What the fuck? All we ever get is excuses for why they can't design something or why they can't do some shit. Look at this fucking dragon. Oh my god. That's the dragon I was talking about that you could fly around and shit. We're getting mangled by these animals. Holy shit. But that's my main point that I was making. Like, these game developers are never developing anything with game mechanics to this level. Even games like Elden Ring didn't have this level of mechanical and graphical development. Although the thing about Elden Ring, the reason why people like Elden Ring and Dark Souls so much is because the games actually are fucking complete. Elden Ring and Dark Souls are actually complete within themselves. You don't need DLC. You don't need to wait for a Game Pass. You don't need to wait for this. You don't need to wait for that. What is it called? A Season Pass, not a Game Pass. But the thing about Elden Ring is, and Dark Souls, is that they even allowed you to have great magic in those fucking games. To a degree where games don't ever do that type of shit, and they always want to be like, oh, this game's all about magic and mages. But really, in other games, they just give magic and mages the ability to fucking one-shot you like Black Desert did. But anyways, I'm going to show one more thing just to show you why I've been kind of annoyed. Because game developers just seem so out of touch and unaware to the fact that what they're developing is dog shit to begin with. So when you're developing dog shit and your team can't develop it properly, or you keep telling them to keep changing what the fuck they're building, right? Like, of course, y'all are going to end up developing failure-ass games. Okay, so it's videos like this why I made my video in the first place. Because the reality is that when these game developers are making these games, right, they're not making anything like what I just showed before, where there's so many elements to the combat, there's so many elements to the traveling, there's so many elements to the world, that if that last game, the Crimson Desert, if it was locked to one neighborhood, if it was locked to one tiny city, people would still be able to immensely enjoy the game and not care about paying hundreds of dollars for the fucking game. But we're just going to listen to some of the shit that he says.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Tim. Today, I want to talk about something that, for a lack of a better phrase, I'm going to call game development caution. Before I start, I'm going to tell you 3 different stories. They're a little different, but then I'll tell you what I'm thinking about.
Like, before we even get into this, the video is so delusional that he had to come up with a phrase, game development caution. The reality of this game development caution delusion is that game developers want to ensure that they make money. So they're going to give you the best shitty product that they can possibly give you in a way where you'll play it at the very least. Which all that does is kill off the gaming industry, because at a certain point people are going to become like, well, this is the exact same game over and over again. So then they'll wait for you all to change the story, make a new story or some shit. But even that, y'all are too lazy and braindead to do. Y'all start saying like, oh, we'll make Assassin's Creed, and then we'll make another Assassin's Creed, and then we'll make another Assassin's Creed, and oh, all of the stories are basically the exact same. Oh, and now we're going to switch to MMOs because we don't think we can keep doing that anymore. Because we've reached the point where people want a different story, where people want a different thing. The problem is that y'all are not developing shit like the Crimson Desert, where the combat is just fucking consistent and good, the travel is good, the fucking everything in the game is good. Like, this shit's so delusional. We're just going to listen to some of what he says.
Back when we made Fallout, towards the end, when we
Fallout was dog shit, by the way.
were really trying to get it out, we had 2 whiteboards. One whiteboard had a list of features or content that weren't done yet that really needed to get in. And the other whiteboard had a list of what the 10 most egregious bugs were. And next to each one of these, on these 2 different whiteboards, were listed the person who was assigned to it. We did it in a whiteboard like this so that people could come in the morning and look at it, because this
Right, like here's the thing. I'm not even going to listen to the rest of the video. I can't bear to listen to this delusional ass bullshit. Fallout is a shooting game. You have to realize that. Fallout is a shooting game. So if I was going to tell you I'm developing a game just like Fallout, what am I going to develop first? Well, first I'm going to make the fucking map in the world. Then I'm going to develop the shooting system and make all of the systems within the shooting shit, right? And then I'm going to go and say, okay, look, we're going to need these missions, we're going to need items in these locations. And then we can just completely focus on developing these locations, these items, these missions. And then we can get to making cutscenes and shit. You see how fucking simple that breakdown of how to develop a fucking Fallout game would be? Because at the end of the day, it's just a fucking shooting game. All you do in a shooting game is you create the fucking character, you create the projectile that hits the character, you make the fucking character lose health every time it gets hit by one of those fucking projectiles. If you played Fallout, there were so many fucking bugs, even in the fucking shooting. There were so many problems, even in the fucking shooting. Where it's like, oh my god, there's just no way. There's no way that they actually planned this out and thought about it. Because some of this shit that when I played Fallout 4. There was so much shit that they could have easily fucking designed. The map isn't even that big in Fallout 4. The gameplay has no depth. You just find guns, you pick up the guns, you equip the gun, then you shoot. Sometimes guns wouldn't load into the fucking map. There wasn't enough ammo, so you'd be running out of ammo sometimes. There wasn't enough resources to build the fucking ammo and to build the fucking guns. You had to grind shit out so fucking hard. And then, when you did get guns, sometimes you just one-shot every fucking enemy. So the entire game's combat and everything was fucking useless. There's just so many fucking problems with the fucking Fallout game. It was actual dog shit. The only reason y'all made sales is because y'all sold your fucking game to kids. That's the only reason. Because, yeah, there were adults that bought the game. But all of the teenagers and shit that got the game, that's the only reason the game was successful. All the teenagers and young adults that just wanted to play a game with some friends, and the people who wanted to mod the fucking game, that's the only reason that game did well at all. This is a dog shit game developer talking about his dog shit experience with his dog shit fucking company doing their dog shit business because they created a dog shit game that still hasn't improved to this fucking day. Fallout 2077 or whatever the fuck it is. Fallout, I forget what the fuck. Fallout 76, yes. That game was dog shit. It launched terribly. It had tons of bugs. And then when you get the game to work and run, it's basic, simple fucking walk up, shoot an enemy, run away from an enemy, shoot the enemy while you're walking backwards. I just broke down the entire fucking combat system in Fallout 76 to you. And that's consistently how their games were developed throughout the entire course of their fucking franchise's lifespan. And they were still fucking up at developing it on their final game that they developed. It's a dog shit company. They've literally been building the exact same fucking game for the past 15, 20 fucking years. And they still can't build the fucking game properly on time. They still can't build it without all the fucking bugs. This dude's video is a waste of fucking time to watch. His opinion's fucking retarded. Fucking game developers are brain dead. This is why I start thinking like this. Because it's shit like how the game has been. If you actually played the game at any point over the last 20 years, the game has not been all that interesting. It hasn't been all that great. It's widely been a sandbox, so it means that they're developing less content for giving you game systems. Then they can't complete those fucking game systems because they don't know how to develop them. Like, it's just dog shit. The entire fucking Fallout franchise, dog shit. What this is saying? This is horny jail. Okay, so let's we having technical difficulties. Everybody, subscribe to Russian Gaming. Oh, okay. Where did it go? Like this video. Alright. Share this video. Comment below.